Sean, I was just down in my district, and I just can't overemphasize. People are tuning this out. They've had enough. The Democrats have been crying wolf for 3 years now. They want us to get back to real issues. This is a bunch of politicians fighting with each other. But meanwhile, in the House, this coming week, as rockets are falling on our embassy in Baghdad, the House is going to move to tie the president's hands, repeal the authorization of the use of military force, prevent him from continuing to respond and deter Iran. Look, he needs to, just this week alone, he is going to continue to put points on the board. We have a Middle East peace deal being announced tomorrow. We have USMCA being signed this week. And when that Dow crosses 30,000, that's what people care about back home. They care about immigration, health care, prescription drugs, things that affect their lives. Not all of this fighting up in D.C.
Yeah, I thought Professor Dershowitz in particular on the constitutionality of this could not have been more spot on. What is the crime, Congressman Johnson? Tell me.
There is none, and he made the point very effectively. The only two previous impeachments, the examples we have in history from Andrew Johnson in 1868 to Bill Clinton in the late 90s, you had specific crimes that were committed and a ton of evidence verifying that. They haven't alleged any crime at all here, and they never met the threshold. The Democrats never met the threshold for an impeachment. That's the first question the Senate has to answer, and when they do, it moots everything else. All this debate about witnesses and documents and all the rest is totally unnecessary because they never sent over valid articles of impeachment. And the scary thing is, Sean, the biggest point that Professor Dershowitz made and others, and we've been saying for weeks, is that they've opened a Pandora's box. They have now put the bar for impeachment so low that every future president will have to be looking over their shoulder. If a majority in the House is from a different party, the base is going to demand that they take that president out. This is exactly what the Founding Fathers feared. And here we go.
Congressman Waltz, I mean, okay, so if that's the case, how do they bifurcate their brains and compartmentalize away Joe and Hunter? Hunter making millions, no experience, Joe shaking down Ukraine with our money. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I'm like,
yeah, and also, you know, I want to get to the bottom of how $1 billion came into Hunter Biden's company from the Central Bank of China, from our rival, from our enemy. Look, I just can't overemphasize talking to people, you know, between Corey Lewandowski and Cohen, and we've got this person, we've got that person. Now they're claiming Bolton. People have really tuned this out. I talked to some local anchors in Florida. Their ratings were tanking, trying to cover this thing. I really think this is a fizzle at best. But meanwhile, the president is getting things done. He is putting points on the board, and we're going to move the country forward despite all of this.